The festive season is here, which gives us so many opportunities to be creative. This year, I've made my very own pine cone wreath, and the great news about this project is it only takes a few materials and it's actually really easy. So go out there, forage for some different sized pine cones, and let's get started. Here's what you'll need: 3 hoops in different sizes, some fine gold florist wire, pliers, some greenery and berries, and some different sized pine cones. If your pine cones are very large, you might like to make them a bit smaller by removing the bottom. Chipping away with a hammer and a screwdriver works really well. This will help your pine cones sit nice and flat on the wreath. Use pliers to get rid of any stubborn bits. Next, it's time to make our wreath frame. Do this by connecting the 2 larger hoops with fine wire. Make sure the tails of the wire are nice and long. Pull the wire tight once the hoops are evenly spaced. You can do this by wrapping the wire twice around the hoop. Now attach the small hoop in the middle. Tie it all off as tight as you can by wrapping the wire around the hoop a couple of times, and then thread the tails back and forth through the hoops in a zigzag pattern. This will make sure that we have plenty of wire to attach our pine cones to and have a really steady frame. Prepare your pine cones by wrapping wire around the base with the tails coming out the bottom. We'll use these to tie our pine cones onto the wreath. Now it's time to start attaching the pine cones to the wreath. Start with your biggest pine cones first and attach these to the frame. I found it was easiest to work with the frame facing down. Once you have your big pine cones in place, you can start attaching some smaller pine cones by filling in the gaps. You might like to flip the wreath over every now and then to check the placement of the pine cones. Continue filling the gaps with smaller pine cones and make sure they're tied on really tight. cut off the excess wire with wire cutters. Now it's time to add your greenery. I'm using rosemary as it will dry really nicely, but you can use anything that you like. I've added some red berries too. You shouldn't need any glue, just find the gaps they fit into. And how easy was that? You can really make this wreath your own with your own personal touches and flourishes. And when Christmas is over, just remove all the greenery and you can store it away until next year. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time here on Create and Craft TV. Happy creating.